In the spotlight tonight is Julie Aris from West Ham, an audit manager. Her specialist subject is the Hercule Poirot novels of Agatha Christie. George O'Neill from Stockton-on-Tees, a personal assistant to a member of Parliament. His subject, Dracula. Andrew Hunter from Grimsby, a computer consultant, and his subject is the Battle of Britain. And Michael Kane from Stainton, a retired chemist, whose subject is the life and music of Buddy Holly. Hello, I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. There aren't many rules. All they have to do is pack in as many answers into 2 minutes as they can manage. 2 minutes on the specialist round and the same on general knowledge. And one of them will come back for the next round with the enticing prospect that they might end up as the owner of a very nice glass bowl and, more importantly, the hugely prestigious title of Mastermind. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Julie Aris.
Your occupation?
Audit manager.
And your chosen subject?
Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot novels.
In 2 minutes, starting now, in which country house did Hercule Poirot solve both his first and his last murder cases?
Styles Court.
Correct. In Dumb Witness, Emily Arundel fell down the stairs after tripping over her wire-haired fox terrier's tennis ball. What was the dog's name?
Bob.
It was. In the mysterious affair at Styles, which poison actually killed Emily Inglethorpe?
Strychnine.
It did. What was the name of Poirot's dentist who was shot after Poirot had paid him a visit in 1-2 Buckle My Shoe?
Mr. Morley.
Correct. In The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, what did Dr. Shepherd say that he thought Ackroyd manufactured?
Wagon wheels.
Yes. What was the name of the girls' school where Miss Springer, the gym mistress, was murdered in Cat Among the Pigeons?
Meadowbank.
Yes. Eleanor Carlyle's trial for murder after being caught in a love triangle is the centrepiece of which novel?
Sad Cypress.
Yes. In Halloween Party, how was the schoolgirl Joyce Reynolds murdered?
She was drowned in a bucket of used for apple bobbing.
She was. According to Captain Hastings in Curtin, what were the last words he ever heard Poirot say?
Pass.
In the first of the Labours of Hercules, who asked Poirot to investigate the kidnapping of his wife's pet Pekingese dog?
Pass.
In Elephants Can Remember, who had replaced Miss Sedgwick as the novelist Ariadne Oliver's secretary?
Pass.
Poirot for some time was the owner of a large expensive car which broke down at the beginning of the Arcadian Deer. What make was it?
Bentley.
No, it was a Messaro Graz. In the ABC Murders, what's the name of the product that Poirot used on his hair to get rid of the grey?
Revivat.
It was. In which novel did Superintendent Battle's youngest daughter, Sylvia, play a small but important part?
Pass.
What was the name of Miss Lemon's sister who presided over a dinner at a students' hostel attended by Poirot in Hickory Dickory Dock?
Mrs. Hubbard.
It was. In Lord Edgware Dies, who partnered Poirot in a game of bridge that ended in a heavy financial gain for the two of them?
Pass.
Which village was the home of the Claude family and provided the principal setting for Taken at the Flood?
Wodesley.
Walmsley Vale, yes. In Murder in Mesopotamia, what was the name of the archaeologist who called in Poirot to investigate the death of his wife Louise?
Eric Leidner.
It was indeed. You had 5 passes there. In Lord Edgware Dies, it was Sir Montague Corner involved. In that novel, Superintendent Battle's youngest daughter Sylvia, it was called Towards Zero. In Elephants Can Remember, it was Miss Livingston who had replaced Miss Sedgwick. In the first of the Labours of Hercules, Sir Joseph Hoggin asked Poirot to investigate the kidnapping of his wife's dog. And according to Captain Hastings in Curtains, the last word he heard Poirot say was, cher ami. So, Julie Aris, 5 passes, you have 12 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
George O'Neill.
Occupation?
I'm the personal assistant to a member of Parliament.
And your chosen subject?
Dracula, the novel and the 4 main film versions.
In 2 minutes, starting now. Hamilton Dean was one of the writers who created the play that formed the basis for the 1931 and 79 films of Dracula. Who was the other?
John L. Balderston.
Correct. In Stoker's novel, what is the name of the hotel in Biarritz at which Jonathan Harker spends the night before catching the coach for the Borgo Pass?
Pass.
To which character is Mina married in the 1958 Hammer film version of the Dracula story?
Arthur Holmwood.
Yes, in the 1979 film of Dracula, what's the surname of Lucy, played by Kate Nelligan?
Seward.
It was. With which event is Dracula's attack on Lucy intercut in Francis Ford Coppola's film?
The Wedding of Mina and Jonathan Harker.
Yes. Which composer supplied a new score to accompany the 1931 film of Dracula when it was released on video in 1999?
Pass.
Under what title was Terence Fisher's 58 Hammer film released in the United States because of copyright restrictions on the use of the title Dracula?
Horror of Dracula.
It was. Which actor, better known for his portrayal of the central character of a television series, played Walter the Butler in John Badham's version of Dracula?
Pass.
Who played Van Helsing opposite Bela Lugosi in Todd Browning's film of 1931?
Edward Van Sloan.
It was. Which composer and veteran of many Hammer film scores wrote the music for the 58 film of Dracula?
James Bernard.
Yes, in Stoker's novel, which magazine's report about the escaped wolf includes an interview with the keeper of the zoological gardens?
The Pall Mall Gazette.
Yes, what is the name of the ship bound for Varna but diverted to Galatz, which Dracula takes from Doolittle's wharf in Stoker's novel?
The Tsarina Catherine.
Yes, the ship that carries Dracula to Whitby is called the Demeter in Stoker's novel. What is its name in the 1931 film?
The Vesta.
Yes, in Todd Browning's film, which character travels to Transylvania to finalise a property deal and becomes a victim of the Count?
Renfield.
Yes, who was the screenwriter for John Badham's film of Dracula?
W.D. Richter.
Yes, what, according to Lugosi's Dracula, would be glorious?
To die, to be really dead.
Indeed it was. You had 3 passes there. The actor better known for his portrayal of the central character in that television series was Sylvester McCoy. The composer we were looking for was Philip Glass. And in Stoker's novel, the name of the hotel was the Golden Crone. You have scored, George O'Neill, 13 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Andrew Hunter.
And your occupation?
Computer consultant.
And your chosen subject?
The Battle of Britain.
The Battle of Britain in 2 minutes, starting now. What code name did Germany give to the planned invasion of Britain for which victory in the Battle of Britain was a necessary condition?
Sea Lion.
Correct. Which fighter squadron was commanded by Group Captain Douglas Bader during the Battle of Britain?
242.
Yes. Which British fighter plane was originally designated the Fury monoplane?
The Hurricane.
It was described as Black Thursday by the Luftwaffe, which date in 1940 saw the highest number of German losses in a single day?
August the 15th.
Yes. Which pilot in 501 Squadron had a total of 18 kills during the Battle of Britain?
Ginger Lacey.
Yes. What was the widely used nickname of Fighter Commander-in-Chief Sir Hugh Dowding?
Stuffy.
Yes. Which German aircraft was commonly referred to as the Stuka?
The Junkers 87.
Yes. In which Sussex town was the Queen Victoria Hospital where Sir Archibald Mackindow's guinea pigs were treated for their burns?
East Grinstead.
On the 29th of October 1940, Italian pilots bombed which seaport town in Kent with their near-obsolete Fiat aircraft?
Deal.
Ramsgate. Which Czech pilot destroyed a total of 17 enemy aircraft during the Battle of Britain?
Josef František.
It was. Which aircraft factory at Hatfield in Hertfordshire was attacked by fighter bombers on October the 3rd, 1940?
De Havilland.
Yes. Which German pilot, Galland's second in command, shot down a reported 4 Hurricanes in 2 minutes in the Folkestone area on August the 18th, 1940?
Pass.
The Gloucester Gladiator, which engaged an enemy aircraft over Plymouth on 28th of October 1940, came from which squadron?
Pass.
Whom did Goering appoint as Channel Battle Commander in 1940 with the specific task of clearing the Straits of Dover of British activity?
Fink.
Yes. Which lightship was sunk by enemy action on both the 18th of July and the 14th of August 1940?
The Varn.
Goodwin. To which Nazi leader did Adolf Galland reportedly say that he needed a squadron of Spitfires to win the Battle of Britain? Goering it was. Who commanded Luftflotte 3 during the Battle of Britain, having previously commanded Condor Legion during the Spanish Civil War?
Hugo Spurl.
It was indeed. You had 2 passes there. The Gloucester Gladiator, which engaged an enemy aircraft, came from 247 Squadron. And the German pilot, Galland's second in command, Oberleutnant Schopfel. 2 passes. Andrew Hunter, 13 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Michael Kane,
Your occupation?
retired chemist.
And your chosen subject?
The life and music of Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly in 2 minutes. Peggy Sue, after whom Buddy retitled his song, originally written as Cindy Lou, was the girlfriend of whom?
Jerry Allison.
Correct. To which city were Buddy the Big Bopper and Richie Valens flying in the early hours of 3rd of February 1959?
Fargo.
Correct. Who was Buddy's school friend with whom he began his performing career as the duo Buddy and Bob?
Bob Montgomery.
It was. Buddy took the title of That'll Be the Day from a line in which film?
The Searchers.
Correct. In 58, Buddy failed his draft medical on 2 counts, his poor eyesight and which other complaint?
Ulcers.
Correct. Who played tenor saxophone on the recording of Reminiscing made at Norman Petty's studio in September 1958?
King Curtis.
It was. Who played drums for Buddy at the Green Bay concert on the 1st of February 59 after Carl Bunch was taken to hospital with frostbite?
Richie Valens.
Yes. Produced by Buddy in 58, what was the title of Waylon Jennings' first single?
Joel Blunt.
It was. Under what title were the Buddy and Bob early demos recorded at KDAV released as an album in 65?
Holly Nils.
Yes. At which Harlem theatre did the Crickets first perform in August 57, an unusual event in that the theatre did not generally book white performers?
Apollo.
Yes. Who arranged and produced the recording session where Buddy was backed by a string section for the first time?
Dick Jacobs.
It was. Which song written for Buddy by Paul Anka did Dick Jacobs arrange and record at that first session with strings?
Doesn't matter anymore.
Yes. What instrument did 5-year-old Buddy play when he and his brothers won a $5 prize at a local talent show in 1941?
Toy violin.
Yes. For which music publishing company was Buddy's future wife Maria working when they first met in 1958?
Pierce Southern Music.
Correct. What was the name of Norman Petty's studio in Clovis where the Crickets recorded the version of That'll Be the Day which topped the charts?
Nova Jack.
It was. An appearance on which television show on 2nd of March 58 gave the Crickets their first nationwide coverage in Britain?
Sunday Night at London Palladium.
Correct. Who was the owner of the KDAV radio station who got Buddy some early airplay in 53?
Dave Stone.
Correct. Nashville talent scout Eddie Crandall was greatly impressed by Buddy and Bob when they opened for whom on the 14th of October? I'll finish the question. On the 14th of October, 1955.
Bill Haley.
Bill Haley it was. Michael Caine, no passes, a remarkable 18 points. And that's the end of our first round, the specialist subject. So let's have a look at the scores. In 3rd place on 12 is Julie Aris. Joint 2nd place, George O'Neill and Andrew Hunter, both of whom have 13 points. In the lead with 18 is Michael Caine. So we move on to round 2 now, general knowledge, and if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account and the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. So let's get started with it, and let me ask Julie Aris to join us again, if she would, please. And I know that you are an audit manager. You were talking about Hercule Poirot, about whom you know a great deal, but I wonder whether if another Agatha Christie came along, she'd get away with it in this climate? Or do you think there has to be...
I think people want more excitement in books now, more blood and gore and action. They're very sedate books.
They are, aren't they? They're gentle, sort of.
Yes.
I mean, there's murder, but
Well,
it's sort of gentle
having said
murder,
that, I mean,
really, isn't it?
They
It's,
are gentle to a degree. There's not much violence in them. A lot of murders, but not much violence attached to it.
That's the... And you don't get the anatomical detail that you get
No.
in...
No, you don't need to picture it.
No.
You just know that somebody's been stabbed.
Let you imagine that.
Use your imagination if you wish.
Quite so, exactly. So, let's move on. 12 points on Hercule Poirot. Let's see how you get on with general knowledge questions. 2 minutes starting now. Which illusionist went into the record books when he finished a 44-day fast in October 2003, suspended above the Thames in a Perspex box?
Blaine.
Correct. Which American tennis player defeated Juan Carlos Ferrero in straight sets to win the 2003 US Open, his first Grand Slam title?
Pass.
Which vast limestone plateau in southern Australia has a name derived from the Latin for no tree?
Nullarbor.
Correct. In which play is the central character mislaid as a baby in a handbag at Victoria Station by the governess Miss Prism?
The Importance of Being Earnest.
Indeed. Which locomotive, built in 1923, lent its name to the non-stop train that ran from London King's Cross to Edinburgh Waverley?
Pass.
In which city is the castle church on whose wooden doors Martin Luther is said to have nailed his 95 theses?
Wittenberg.
Correct. In which classic 1942 film did Dooley Wilson play and sing As Time Goes By?
Casablanca.
Yes, in 63, Princess Anne became a boarding pupil at which Kent school?
Benenden.
Correct. Which bone in the body takes its anatomical name from the Latin word for thigh?
Femur.
Correct. Francis I was the Emperor of Austria from 1804 to 35, but from 1792 to 1806, as Francis II, he was the last holder of which title?
Pass.
Which Warwickshire spa town was granted its royal prefix by Queen Victoria in the 1830s?
Leamington Spa.
Correct. In the television comedy series Till Death Us Do Part, Alf Garnett's son-in-law Mike came from which city?
Liverpool.
Yes. Chert and which other very similar mineral were widely used to make tools during the Stone Age?
Pass.
Which town near Cannes is the centre of the French perfume industry?
Cologne.
Grass. What name is given to the fertilising grains, often yellow, formed in the anthers of flowers?
Holland.
Correct. The hero of which 1749 novel is described as a foundling in its full title?
Pass.
Which film actor known as Il Bruto in Italy and Le Sacré Monstre in France, after appearing in Once Upon a Time in the West, died, I'll finish the question, died in August 2003, aged 81?
Marlon Brando.
Charles Bronson. You had 5 passes there. That novel with foundling in the title, Tom Jones. Flint was used with Chert during the Stone Age. Francis I had been the Holy Roman Emperor. And the locomotive was the Flying Scotsman. And the American tennis player who defeated Ferrero was Andy Roddick. 5 passes, you had 12 points. You now have 22 points. And now George O'Neill, if he would join us, please. 13 points with Dracula. How close is Dracula to the real character on whom Bram Stoker based him?
Well, the novel explicitly identifies the vampire with Vlad the Impaler, but the novel's basically a simple tale of good against evil, and the real Dracula was someone who had to cope with the political circumstances of his day, and although he did it in a particularly brutal way, one has to locate him in his time and era and the necessities of that time.
Yes, he tended to put his enemies' heads on a steel spike.
He's not a man that you would be wise to argue with, let's put it that way.
Well, you scored 13 points with Dracula. Let's have the general knowledge round now. Which television personality born Graham Walker has a production company called So Television?
Peter Kay?
Graham Norton. Who was the only US president to have served in the armed forces in both world wars?
Harry Truman.
Dwight D. Eisenhower. A version of polo using which animal was invented in Nepal by a British expatriate and is now an annual event in Thailand?
Pass.
Which foodstuff is effectively produced by the addition of the bacteria Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus to milk?
Yogurt?
Yes. Whose reputation was seriously marred after she and her bodyguards were linked with the kidnap and beating of 4 black youths in Soweto in 1988-89?
Winnie Mandela.
Correct. Which Duke and uncle of the Queen was killed in a plane crash in Caithness in the north of Scotland while on active service in World War II on 20th of August 1942?
Pass.
Which word for a non-Christian or heathen is derived from the Latin for villager?
Barbarian?
Pagan. Which US state has shorelines on all the Great Lakes except Lake Ontario?
Illinois?
Michigan. In 1843, on what grounds was the Scottish woodcutter Daniel Macnaghten acquitted of the murder of Robert Peel's secretary, Edward Drummond?
Insanity?
Correct. Ernest Hemingway's novel For Whom the Bell Tolls was set during which war?
The Spanish Civil.
Correct. Which former England rugby union captain was reappointed to the post for the 2004 Six Nations Championship?
Delalio?
Correct. In 1994, the former Globe Theatre on Shaftesbury Avenue in London's West End was renamed in honour of which actor's 90th birthday?
Olivier?
Gielgud. In mathematics, what name is given to an angle greater than 180 degrees?
Obtuse.
Reflex. Which novel by Michael Frayn features a supposedly long-lost painting by Peter Bruegel?
Pass.
The second largest of the Orkneys, which island is famed for its old man, a 450-foot high sea stack?
Hoy?
Hoy is correct. You had 3 passes there. The novel by Michael Frayn with the Bruegel painting was Headlong. The Duke who was killed on active service was the Duke of Kent, and that version of polo uses elephants. You had 13 points, you now have 19 points. And now, Andrew Hunter, please. And you also had 13 points with your knowledge of the Battle of Britain, which was the most extraordinary battle, wasn't it?
It was entirely in the air to begin with. And there's still an argument about did we really win or did they just stop fighting?
Ah, doesn't it come down to the same thing in the end?
It's possible to claim it was a draw.
But had it been a win for the other side, you and I probably wouldn't be sitting here now, would we?
Well, that's the other curious thing about the battle, because had we lost it, the battle in the air, which is the only thing that is called the Battle of Britain, the Germans would have had to have gone on to the next phase, which is the sea line invasion, and the question is, what would have happened then? And that is what everyone would have then called the Battle of Britain.
Well, you had 13 points with the Battle of Britain. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. The cynical and disillusioned adolescent Holden Caulfield is the hero of which classic American novel?
Catcher in the Rye.
Correct. Helmut Newton, who died in a car crash in January 2004, was celebrated in which artistic field?
Pass.
Which Italian tenor's recording of the aria On with the Motley from I Pagliacci is usually said to be the first to aggregate a total sale of 1 million copies?
Caruso.
Correct. The Ethiopian athlete Haile Gebrselassie won 4 consecutive world championships between 93 and 99 at which distance?
Marathon.
10,000 metres. From the Hindi for bandage, what name is given to the cloth strip formerly worn wound around the lower leg by soldiers?
Putty.
Correct. Nivation refers to the erosion of soil or the shattering of rocks by which natural phenomenon?
Freezing.
Yes, in Greek mythology, who led the Argonauts in their search for the Golden Fleece?
Jason.
He did. Which tree supposedly gets its popular name because its spiny leaves arranged on stiff branches discourages animals from climbing it?
Monkey Puzzle.
Correct. Who composed the musical score for westerns such as The Good, the Bad and the Ugly and A Fistful of Dollars?
Pass.
In art, which Italian term is used to describe the strong contrast between light and dark?
Pass.
The name of which small breed of chicken is applied to a weight category in boxing?
Bantam.
Correct. Which fictional detective created by a keen crossword fan is named after a regular winner of the crossword in The Observer?
Morse.
Correct. Which American architect designed the Imperial War Museum that stands next to the Lowry Centre in Salford?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
No, Liebeskind. In which country was a rebellion ended after a rebel force was defeated at the Battle of Vinegar Hill in 1798?
The United States.
Ireland. Which port on the Mediterranean is France's principal naval base?
Toulon.
Correct. What is the name of the BBC's digital television channel aimed at preschool children, launched on the 11th of February 2002?
Pass.
Who in 1895 was appointed the first conductor of the London Promenade concert at the Queen's Hall in London?
Wood.
Sir Henry Wood, it was indeed. You had 4 passes there. It's CBeebies, the children's channel, launched then. The Italian term for the strong contrast is chiaroscuro. The composer of those Western musical scores was Morricone, and Helmut Newton was a photographer. 4 passes, you had 13 points. You now have, Andrew Hunter, 23 points. And finally, Michael Kane, if he would, please. Well, 18 points.
Yeah.
You seem to know everything there is to know about Buddy Holly.
Well, probably not everything, but
Quite a lot.
yeah.
Why?
He was a brilliant guitarist, and he wrote all his own songs as well.
You have to wonder what he'd have gone on to achieve.
Absolutely, yeah. He died at age 22, yeah.
22.
He'd been married about 4 or 5 months, and his wife was actually expecting a child, and she miscarried when she found out that he'd died.
Yes,
So
it was a truly tragic
quite
business,
a sad
wasn't
story, really, yeah.
Anyway, you got 18 points in the first round. The score to beat is 23. Let's see if you can do it with the general knowledge questions. Starting now. Which British city was selected to be the European Capital of Culture for 2008?
Liverpool.
Correct. Which golf course that hosted the 2003 British Open Championships, the only one outside Scotland or North West England to do so?
Sandwich.
Correct. How are Jean de Dinteville and Georges de Selve known in the title of a 1533 painting by Hans Holbein the Younger?
Pass.
What is the common name for horripilation, the bristling of body hair caused by fear or decreased temperature?
Goose pimples.
Yes. Which member of the saxophone family is built straight like a clarinet?
Alto sax.
Now, the soprano sax. In Charles Perrault's Tales of Mother Goose, which fairy story was originally entitled La Belle au Bois Dormant?
Pass.
In Greek and Roman mythology, who was the muse of dance and lyric poetry?
Terpsichore.
Correct. Which British film tells of a young boy growing up in the northeast during the miners' strike of 84-85 who swaps the boxing ring for a pair of ballet shoes?
Pass.
Which policy resulting in the closure of universities and the abuse of intellectuals was launched by Mao Zedong in August 1966?
Pass.
Which English cheese is said to have got its name because it's made with the full cream milk from 2 milkings?
Stilton.
Double Gloucester. According to Alexander Pope in his An Essay on Man, where does hope spring eternal?
Pass.
Which historic region of France and Belgium, notorious as a battleground in many wars, has a Flemish name thought to mean lowland?
Lolland.
Flanders. Which bird, also known as the fishhawk, began to return to its former breeding areas in Scotland in 1959 after an absence of 43 years?
Osprey.
Correct. Which British king once described his wife Caroline of Brunswick as the vilest wretch this world was ever cursed with?
George IV.
Correct. What did Karl Marx describe? I started, so I shall finish. What did Karl Marx describe as the opium of the people?
Religion.
Religion it was. You had 5 passes there. Alexander Pope's essay, Where Does Hope Spring Eternal? In the Human Breast. Mao Zedong launched in 1966 the Cultural Revolution. The British film with that young lad who took up ballet was Billy Elliot. The fairy story originally entitled La Belle au Bois Dormant was The Sleeping Beauty. Jean de Dinteville and Georges de Selve in that painting were known as the Ambassadors. 5 passes, 18 points in the first round, total of 25 points. So at the end of the general knowledge round, the final round, here are the scores. In 4th place with 19 points, George O'Neill. In 3rd place with 22 points, Julie Aris. In 2nd place with 23 points, Andrew Hunter. And in 1st place, he held on with 25 points, Michael Kane. So that means that Michael Kane goes through to the next round and moves a step closer to becoming our Mastermind champion. Congratulations to him. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
There's new drama tonight exploring the investigation carried out after the Challenger space shuttle explosion back in 1986. That's at 9 on BBC Two.